Hi everyone, my name is James Casey and I am from Ireland, the very, very west coast of Ireland. Um, I'm honoured today to be able to give the opportunity to put my name forward for the board of ENLI, and I hope that in some way, whatever little way I can contribute to the amazing work that ENLI have been doing for us as a disability collective, representing us in Europe and beyond Europe to make sure that our voices are heard at a very political and international level. A little bit about myself. I'm not very good at talking about myself. It's a typically Irish thing, but I will try, and I'll try and be as detailed as possible for everybody. Um, I'm a disabled person. I've always been a disabled person. I grew up in a small town on the west coast of Ireland back in the 1980s, so very different place to be living and a very different time to be living. And I've been involved in the independent living movement since I was, in my late teens. Um, for me, having a personal assistant and been able to live independently and live within my community and follow what I felt were my goals has been a wonderful opportunity and one that I've always grasped. But it hasn't been an easy journey. I was at the very beginning of how these things happen, when independent living was just starting in Europe, and we were learning it together. And I made mistakes because I was a young guy and a young person, and I used my personal assistant to get into college. And I think that's what I want. Now, I want for younger people to be able to make mistakes too. Maybe not the mistakes I made, but to be able to make those mistakes they want, to be able to make their goals achievable, to be able to make their lives the lives that they're choosing and a life of self-determination. And I see that I can hopefully do that and try and work a little bit in the board in whatever way I can to be able to support ENLI in that role. Professionally, I did a PhD in critical disability studies, and I did a master's. And I've been working in disability rights for the last decade. For the last 6 years, I was working with Independent Living Movement Ireland, on an EU social inclusion project, and then as a policy advisor. And for the last year, I've been working in international development, where I work in a project that we look at funding DPOs in the global south to work in climate justice and become part of the climate movement. And that's very exciting. I'm also a board member and have some board experience for the last 2.5 years with the Irish Network Against Racism, and I am the board secretary there. So I hope to bring that experience to the role. And more importantly, I suppose mostly behind this is that we have a chance to collectively change things, to collectively make things more fair for all of us. But only if we all work together, and only if we bring everybody along and make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Because if everybody's voice is heard, not hers, then nobody's voice is heard. And I think that we can do that with collective leadership and collective reignition of the disability rights movement. And I think ENLI, and I can see it, are at the very front of that, the tip of the spear. And we did this before and we can do it again. So thanks very much, guys. And yeah, I appreciate it. Cheers.
My name is Martine Eliassen and I'm from Norway. I'm 34 years old, disabled woman, and I'm a passionate activist for equality and human rights. I work as a political advisor in Aloba Independent Living Norway, and I've been active in the independent living movement for many years. I've been working with policies proposals, having meetings with politicians, and organizing campaigns to create awareness. I also help building networks of young disabled people so we can support each other and speak with a stronger voice. I'm applying to the ENIL board because I want to make a difference and change the world. I believe in solidarity and working together across borders. We are stronger when we share our experiences and fight together for our rights. I will bring strong political experience, a deep knowledge of disability rights, and good communication skills. I know how to turn complex issues into clear messages to reach people and create change. I love to work with young people and to build inclusive spaces where everyone is welcome. If I'm elected, I want to make sure that young disabled people are included in each part of ENIL's work. We are the future and our voices must be heard now. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrea Ficcarelli, I'm from Italy and I'd like to participate not just as a candidate for ENIL's board, but also as a fellow citizen. After graduating at University of Bologna, I have been developing, in team with politicians, a law on independent living based upon personal assistance schemes. It is becoming a reality. In the last few years, I have learned that in order to actually get change, we need to prove their convenience. Pragmatism. I believe that the diversity of life is a resource, not an obstacle. By embracing it, we can build stronger and more versatile societies. We have the power to prove that change is inevitable. Ahead of us lie difficult times of economic and rule of law crisis, and disability movements are usually the first to suffer. I think that we don't only need to stand up for our values, we also need to advance them by dealing with bad practices, such as institutionalization, which removes people from everyday life. My work with public administrations as a consultant is about self-determination, regardless of income or personal capacities. I always loved different cultural and linguistic environments. This fed my creative way of resolving issues. My experience has brought me to develop deep knowledge over independent living. Particularly, it is my skill in gathering valuable data and proving the benefits for all those involved, expertise and willingness to make a positive change that might be of greater help. I know several languages and I'm determined to put them to good use. I'm strongly convinced that in a dynamic context we gain progress and innovation. When we have an increased number of active people, for instance, through personal assistance, both the economy and social integration improve greatly. I would work towards these goals in the most effective manners I know. Thank you.
My name is Cesar. I live and come from Spain in the south of Europe, and I just turned 52. What have I been done, or where have I been hiding until now? I have been in my country, and I haven't been hiding from anyone, because that is not what I usually do. I don't usually hide from anyone. I have written well over 100 articles about all things about disability rights, and I also had a podcast about 4 years ago about independent living affairs, ranging from accessibility to personal assistance, going through education, and so on. And what I want to bring to the board is for it to know that there are people who don't have a voice, just like I barely have one, I have the speech impairment in case you hadn't noticed, and I wanted to be closer and mix with the members of ENIL. That is also the experience I want, or I think I can bring to any sport, besides the fact that I want to see Southern Europe more and better represented in the board. I think that is very important, and that is really what I think I want to achieve during the period I am in the board. I think I want every country to be at least equally represented. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Nadia Haddad. I am a colored woman using an electric wheelchair with colored dark hair up in a kind of bun. I have Moroccan roots, but I was born and raised in Belgium and I am Brussels based. I work as a civil engineer in electromechanical conception, water resourcing and renewable energies within the Development Cooperation, and we are lobbying also to respect all human rights treaties within Development Cooperation and everywhere else. I am again a candidate for the board of ENIL. Why? Because from young on, I have been involved in the anti-discrimination and anti-racism movement, and since I broke my neck more than 20 years ago, I started to become also a disability rights activist. And I have been institutionalized, so I know what it is to receive a personalized budget that permitted me to be again active and have a decent life, to have again control and choices in my life, hiring my own personal assistant, going back to regular work, and being active member of the society on equal level as the others. And that's why I think it's basic human right for everybody of us, regardless where we live. So that's why I want to engage this mandate to make the right to independent living and all its pillars to all the different sectors not only embedded in legislation, but also to receive the decent financing to realize this, regardless the type of disability we have, or our support need, or the intersectionality we live with, or the circumstances we live in, the political ones, the economical ones, the social ones, familial ones, the geographic ones, the religious one. It doesn't matter. It's a basic human right. So this time we need to engage with stakeholders and other experts to think out of the box and realize a kind of business plan, a kind of guidance frame to show the whole world that investing in independent living is cost effective, and it makes from us, persons with disabilities, actors of social change instead of being beneficiaries and depending on care and charity. So that's why I need your support. I need your vote to be able to continue, and that we could all together realize really progress instead of actions and some legislations and some promises. No, more about time to go for progress for all of us, wherever we live. So together we can make this change. Thank you for your trust in advance.
Hello, hope I'm recording this now. My name is Anna Holmgren, and I am from the west coast of Sweden. I am working, and I work as a social worker in Sweden with people with disabilities and personal assistance. I'm also a sexologist and a sex educator, so I do a lot of speeches and educate people around Sweden and in other countries about disabilities and sexuality and the rights of having a sex life. The second question you asked about how I promoting EL living, and I do that daily in my work, both at my speeches and when I do lessons about sexuality, but also in my work and do work with people who has personal assistance over here. I talk about EL, IL, independent living all the time, I guess, in my work, because that's very important. And as we say, nothing about us without us. That's my motto, and I think it's really, really important. You asked me what my motivation is for applying to the ENIL board. And the reason applying is that I hope I can be a part of a change. Winds are really rough in the world at the moment. A lot of rights taken away. And I want to be a part of try to stop the things that's going bad at the moment in Europe for people with disabilities and for young people with disabilities.
Hello to everybody, I'm Miroslava Milanovic from Montenegro. I'm a woman with visual impairment who uses wheelchair and personal assistance. And I'm active in disability rights movement since 2007. I am executive director of the Initiative of Youth with Disabilities of BOCA, and I was co-vice chair of the ENIL Youth Network Board between 2019 and 2022. Within my job, I very often cooperate with ENIL, and maybe some of you knows me from the ENIL's events I participated in. As a lawyer with long year experience in strategic litigation, legal analysis, drafting policies, I hope that ENILs would benefit from my expertise in this field, especially when it comes to advocacy and drafting of policies. I am very much interested in ENIL's efforts related to deinstitutionalization, personal assistance, legal capacity, but also in other issues linked to independent living, especially when they are related to advocacy, research, and other activities I had experience with. So I hope that within the mandate in the ENIL's board, I would help ENIL in its efforts related to mentioned issues, and I hope that within the ENIL's board, our cooperation will even become better. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Aklavia Katsigani, and I'm a candidate for the elections of ENIL's board. I come from Drama, and Drama is a place in Greece. It's a city in the north of Greece. I'm the chair of the Paraplegic Association of Drama for 31 years now. My association is also a member of the National Federation for People with Physical Disability, which I represent as a member of the board. I'm an international relations consultant. My BA is on international and European relations, and my MA is on politics and diplomacy. I was awarded from the region of East Macedonia and Thrace as one of the outstanding females for my activistic work, And I'm also, for the last 5 years, a member of the Judge Committee for the Greece's Tourism Awards, which has to do a lot with accessibility for the hospitality and participation in the tourism. Last year, I was also participated as a candidate for the European elections to be a member of the European Parliament of my country. As part of my rally, I had the chance to promote the independent living and also the personal assistant through my interviews and all the events I had to participate. As a chair of my association for more than 3 decades, I'm fighting for the right to the personal assistant, which is still piloted in my country, Greece, and also the personal assistant leads to independent living, which independent living is really crucial to equal access to education, health, work, and of course keeps you away from institutions. Through my association, which is a member and also a supporter of ENIL, I admire ENIL's work at European level, and that motivates me to act and claim locally the right for independent living. Through my experience to one of the oldest associations about disability in Greece, I would like to share and receive knowledge as I support and expand ENIL's ideas and purposes. What I would like to stress mostly during my mandate is this: the institutionalization. That is the key word for me.
Hi, I'm Radoslav Kozlov from Slovakia. What is my motivation to be member of ENIL's board? It's a simple. I would like to be a member of this great society. I had a pretty nice experience with the Freedom Drive event. I met there a lot of great people. I believe that I could learn a lot about independent living, and also I would like to raise awareness about that, not just in Slovakia. I would like to raise awareness about independent living across all Europe. I am a big fan of neuro-linguistic programming. This is what I would like to bring to the table, ENIL table. It's there is a lot of tools. How could we work with our emotion, and also how could we communicate it to our ideas to whole society? During my mandate in ENIL, I would like to accomplish a platform where people will be able to find personal assistant, and personal assistant will be able to find disabled person. It's something like Airbnb in social services. Another thing what I would like to accomplish is open a CIL in Slovakia. Hello.
Hello everyone, my name is Suela Lala, I'm from Albania. I direct an organization of persons with disabilities in my country. I've been serving as a board member for ENIL since 2019, and I want to recandidate if I am chosen by you guys. My experience with independent living is the fact that besides being a person with a disability and the fact that I'm a personal assistance user since many years myself, I have been through my organization promoting independent living since many years now, and in the last year and a half we have been piloting a project that provides personal assistance service to a group of people with disabilities in Tirana, and that's like a very important thing for us to push the government to design a personal assistance service in compliance with the Article 19 and General Comment number 5 of the Convention. I think my skills in terms of capacities to bring to ENIL is the fact that I have good knowledge in the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and also on independent living and personal assistance, apart from other skills. If I am re-elected, I would continue to work to promote independent living and personal assistance, particularly as it's crucial for our choice and control and for our quality of life. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Capucine Lemaire and I am originally from France. And I'm currently based both in France and Canada, where I'm a board member of the Journal of Neurodiversity in Montreal. I am neurodivergent and I am also on board for an economic and political journal in Firenze, in Italy. And I do research about democracy, capitalism, and ableism. The moment is very worrying for disabled people, and I think that a lobby force is needed to counter eugenics, which always causes victims and deaths. So I would like to develop a legal force against segregations that never stopped. I am delighted to contribute to making the statistics in France clear, and I have contributed to a process of harmonization at European level. So I believe that Europe and ENIL has a key role to play. With ENIL and whatever my place, I know we can work together for justice. Thank you.
Hello, dear members of ENIL. I'm Adonia Drikagliotti, I live in Greece, and I'm the Secretary General of the first and the only independent living organization of Greece, iLiving. Some of you might already know me, since I've been an active member of ENIL for 12 years now, though this is the first time I nominated myself for the board. My story in promoting our right to independent living is too long, and it is mostly connected with the actions of both iLiving and ENIL. Greece has been a country with no right to personal assistance. iLiving's primary goal was its legislation, and it was achieved 3 years ago. I was representing iLiving to the working group of the Ministry of Social Affairs for legislating personal assistance, and I co-wrote the ministry's proposition. I was also representing iLiving to the consultations for the drafting of the National Deinstitutionalization Strategy for both disabled persons and for children. I was the scientific supervisor of the working group of the administrative region of Thessaly, drafting the strategy of the use of EU funds for a time period of 7 years towards promoting disabled people's rights and implementing the UN Convention, as well as a member of a similar working group of another administrative region of Greece, and I'm the member specialized in independent living of the Permanent Committee of Disabled Women of another one region of Greece. I have contributed to the drafting of the United Nations guidelines on the institutionalization and to the Task Force for Personal Assistance of ENIL. I've done all of the above in my spare time while I was a scientific assistant of a disabled former member of the European Parliament with whom we had tried to shape the current EU strategy on our rights, among other things. This is the expertise I already bring to ENIL by collaborating closely with its staff, and I will keep on bringing it whether I become a board member or not. So why should you vote for me? Because I believe that this is the time for us to put more pressure on the EU bodies who permanently and intentionally fail to accomplish their purposes in promoting our rights and implementing the Convention by misusing the EU funds. This is a task that only the board can do, so I would like to be part of it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Fiona Weldon, and I'm a disabled activist, a somewhat academic, and a proud independent living movement Ireland staff member. I spent over 30 years working in challenging the many systems that keep disabled people from living their best lives. This is about challenging segregation, exclusion, and non-disabled professionalism and how it affects our lives, because I've lived it and I've fought it, from setting up personal assistance service locally and to delivering training across Ireland to many disabled activists. Everything I do is rooted in our shared reality and our shared power. From a very young age, I knew that I had the same rights to live like everyone else, but I had to unlearn internalized ableism and break through the low expectations that are placed in us. This didn't happen overnight. I made many mistakes. I've learned from them, and I keep going. No one starts off as a truly fledged activist, but what matters is that we keep showing up for each other. That's what collective action looks like. That's what peer support makes possible. Whether it's through delivering our Strategies for Change program in its many formats, or delivering bespoke disability quality training, or supporting local DPOs, I believe in the shared responsibility that we all have as disabled people to change the narrative. But it's just not about individual growth or group work. It's also about shifting systems that tries to keep controlling our lives. That's why I've delivered training and worked in partnership with national organisations like Paralympics Ireland and the Women's Council of Ireland, challenging ableism in all of its forms. I live and breathe the social model of disability and the philosophy of independent living. And I want every disabled person to know that they have the right to live like everyone else. They have the right to dream and live fully in their communities. ENIL's work continues to inspire me, from the Freedom Drive to the Youth Network, to the way you built a bold cross-European platform that amplifies disabled people's voices and holds power to account. ENIL has a rich history in challenging systems, in shifting attitudes, and connecting disabled people across borders. I'd be very proud to help carry this history forward, to shift the load together with energy, experience, and full commitment.